Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Tangle Tales, the podcast. It is me, Andy, the only one on the podcast. Cool. So today is May, what is today? The 9th, and it is a Tuesday, and we are coming off of the big Pivo party. So I wanted to give a little recap of that and the week leading up to it, actually, the 2 weeks leading up to it. If you watch the YouTube channel, and if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you obviously do. I am putting out a video about the process of designing the new 2-year anniversary shirt and all of the troubles that I had with that. But it's actually a pretty cool process. So check it out if you're interested in that. But let's dive right in. So in the weeks leading up to the Pivo party, I had to do a few things. One, I wanted to get some new merch available for the party. I obviously brewed the beer, so the 14-degree Polo Tomave that was brewed 2 months in advance, and I needed to get a bunch of cans ready as well. So like I mentioned, there's a video detailing the process of how I made the shirts. But basically, I started the process 2 weeks before the party, and it was pretty chaotic, but overall pretty rewarding to do that process. And then I week of printed those shirts, and then came in, got the beer ready, carved it up, kegged it up, and then did a huge canning run. So I did like 60 or 70 6 packs. I did like 27 Polo Tomave 6 packs, and then a few of the other brands as well. Got all of the kegs, full kegs, into the kegerator, gearing up for the party. And then I was open Thursday and Friday before the event, and it was crazy slow. So that is something that is really concerning to me. The last few weeks have been pretty slow, and I'm pretty, you know, disappointed with that. I would obviously I want it to be a little bit busier, but kind of my break even for sales in a month is quite low. And again, I keep saying that I'm going to dive into the numbers, and I'm actually putting together a video right now about a kind of a month of sales at Tanglefoot. But yeah, it's much slower than I was anticipating it being at this time of the year. This is kind of like prime beer drinking weather. So anyways, so having said all that, the party was a smash hit. It was crazy good. I did the busiest day that I've ever done by double. The busiest day before was the 22-degree Tamave release, and then this was basically double those sales. So I had a bunch of cans for sale. I had the Pivo hats that you can see on the Instagrams. They're a hat that says Pivo, but the O is the Tanglefoot logo. That I thought was pretty cool. They're blue and white. And then I made these shirts. So this is the 2-year anniversary shirt. It's a kind of the Tanglefoot logo with a big 2 in the middle, and it says "Lagered 2 years" in Temple, Texas. It's got 10, 12, 13, 14, or 10, 12, 13, 14, 22 degree, and then a little Lucre side pour tap and a glass on the side. So pretty cool, kind of like a graffiti art style. And then I also had some little commemorative coasters that my family made for me that we had out for grabs that turned out really great as well. So we needed to get some music booked. So I booked my girlfriend's band, Over Gold Country Club. They do some old school country covers. And then I had Michael Morris and Jerry Petter come out as the Tanglefoot 2 to play some Czech polka. So I had two bands lined up, and then I had a food truck come out. Which is called Checkpoint Germany. They do German food, and they killed it as well. Everybody was raving about the food, so I'm super happy that they were busy, we were busy, and yeah, it seemed like everybody was having a great time. So the music was awesome. The people were drinking the crap out of the 14 degree. I went through a whole keg and a half of that. I sold out of all of the cans that I had canned up. I sold about 21 shirts. I think I sold like 15 hats. And yeah, so it was super successful. The parking lot was completely full. I had some overflow parking across the street at the American Legion, which they have a giant parking lot that they allowed me to use for the party. So overall, super awesome turnout for the event, and it was a huge success. Wish I could do one of those every week, but that's kind of what happens on a 2-year anniversary and special beer release party. So now I'm coming off the high of that event and really, really focusing on how do I grow the business. So I've talked to a couple of times on this podcast about what the kind of envision of Tangle, not the envision, but like the overarching goal of Tanglefoot is to kind of grow to be Temple's beer, kind of the go-to easy drinking lager. And so, in order to achieve that goal, I need to send beer out into the market. The problem with that is I need to increase my production significantly in order for me to justify sending beer out of the tap room and selling it at a much lower margin than across the bar. What is required to make that happen is I need to buy more equipment, which is always comes back to more money. So I've got a couple of things that I can buy in the short term that will help production and increase it slightly. But short of me buying new tanks, there's not much I can do. So I'm kind of in this weird zone of like, do I want to take out some loans in order to purchase equipment and then try to test my idea, or do I just kind of like divert a portion of the beer that I can currently make? Because to be frank, I'm not selling my capacity yet. I'm not busy enough to where I'm sending every single ounce of beer that I can through the taps, but it still gives me a lot of anxiety whenever I'm brewing 2 months in advance and I'm trying to make sure that I have inventory so that I never run out of any of the core three beers. And anytime I think about sending beer out into the market, it just makes it a little scary because if I have a couple of busy weeks in a row, then I may end up running out of a certain beer, and that's not ideal for the taproom folks. So I think my next plan is to kind of continue to stockpile beer. I'm going to do those things that will slightly increase production. One of the things is getting a cold liquor tank that will be housed in my walk-in cooler, so that I have a ton of cold liquor and I'm able to knock out um, either multiple batches or just knock out one larger batch at a time or slightly more volume because I'll have more cold water on hand because that's a bottleneck, a pinch point right now in my process. And then that will also free up one of my bright tanks that I currently use as a dedicated cold liquor tank. So I think that's an easy fix, and that piece of equipment with install and everything will probably be like under $1,000, maybe like $900 to get everything there, and that should alleviate some of the pain points that I have in the brewing process. Um, and then I yesterday submitted all four of my beers that I actually all five of my beers, the 10, 12, 13, 14, and 22 degree Tamave, I submitted for cola label approval through the TTB. So if for those that don't know, when you want to sell beer in the market, you need to have a TABC label approval. They call it product registration now, but basically you have to submit a label for approval by the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission so that you can sell it in the marketplace. And in order to get that label approval, you need to have a TTB, which is the Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, the government agency that monitors alcohol production in the states. You have to submit it to them and get approval from them, and then you submit it to TABC and then pay $25 per brand, and they will approve that. So that process may take a little while, but as soon as I get those, it should take like a month or so. But once I get those TT or TABC label approvals in, I'll be able to officially sell beer on the market. And I've got a couple of accounts that I'm already um, interested in getting beer on. They've expressed interest for many months now. One is Fox Dog in Temple, downtown Temple, and the other one is called Troy Lumberyard, and they're in Troy, about 10 minutes north of Temple. So yeah, once I do that, I think I'm going to start sending out a couple of slims a month, just kind of testing the waters and see how it's received in the market, and then that will hopefully kind of like guide my next step in the process. All the while, I am constantly thinking of different things that I can do to bring people value in this brand and with the YouTube channel and all that stuff. So hopefully, I can build this audience and get some, I don't know, maybe some cool events or something we can do outside of just the norm of beer releases or whatever. So that's kind of where my head's at right now. But gearing up to have a successful May at least, even though April was pretty crappy. I spent a ton of money in April gearing up for the party and things like that. But the party was huge. It was the first weekend of May, so we've got a few more weekends that hopefully will put us in the black for May. And then I promise I'll get y'all some some more business focused financial videos. So y'all can join me on this journey of a tiny brewery trying to make money. So that's pretty much all I got. Thanks so much for listening. If you are listening, and I'll keep doing this stuff if y'all keep watching and listening. So cheers, na zdraví. Have a great day. Bye.